Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. Hope you guys are doing well wherever it is that you are. Traveling out of town, you see in the background, I'm up in Chattanooga doing a little bit of work for a few days, and just want to touch base with you guys, see how everybody was doing. There are several things going on in the news. Did you know that the government is shut down? What day is this? 23, 24, something like that. It is interesting to watch, and please don't worry, those federal employees will be paid. They always are after everything gets taken care of and changed around. One of the things that concerns me the most about this is the fact that those people who are on benefits, SNAP benefits, food assistance, their gift may be interrupted, and that is problematic for some people, because some people actually depend on that, and that is very concerning. And it is very regrettable. And I know that the food assistance, food stamp, SNAP, whatever it is you want to call it now, is greatly abused. And there are those in government that encourage it to be abused. But there are those that actually need it. And so, thoughts and prayers go out to those people, and it will indeed, if this continues, it will put a strain on the local food banks and everything like that. Again, regrettable. I'm glad there is a net for them that is in the food pantries, the local food pantries, church-sponsored, group-sponsored programs. That's probably going to happen unless everything gets resolved quickly. Another thing that is coming up is Obamacare is expiring. How about that? Now, I don't mind telling you guys, I pay $1,500 a month for health insurance for myself and my wife. That's two people. And there is no subsidy. There is anything like that. Pay $1,500 a month. I've paid $1,500 a month for probably 15 years for mediocre health insurance. It's okay, and it serves what my wife and I need and what we have going on. We're both in very good health. No medical problems to speak of or anything like that. And the few things that are, we normally just pay for them out of pocket. I can afford that. Some people can't. That's just, that is a sad truth. But that's just the way it is. I recall my sister bragging one time with her Obamacare insurance that she paid $13 a month for all kinds of health insurance, everything. $15 a month, something like that. In her 40s, no health conditions or anything like that. But holy cow, that's a significant difference. And she always thought it was grand because the government paid for the other part of it. No, the government didn't. I did. And she later moved to Scotland with her husband. Real nice, real nice guy. Love my sister too. Got no problems with her. Some can, some can't. That's what my daddy used to tell me. And now she uses the socialized medicine in Scotland because she became a citizen in Scotland. And she says, "Oh, it's great. Everything's free." And I said, "Oh, wow. You know, tell me about everything," because at one time she had some kind of stomach problems, you know, IBS or an ulcer or something like that. She said, "Well, it's not bad." She said, "When I need to go to the doctor, I make an appointment, and usually they see me within 6 months." I said, "Wow." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, how does that work out for you?" She says, "Well, I get on the train, and I ride the train about 6 hours, and then I go to my doctor." And I recall her saying something about she had a tooth dental problem, and it took about 8 months, I want to say, for them to do whatever that they needed to do with the tooth. She says, "But I didn't pay anything." You know, and then there's that. Interestingly enough, when I worked at UAB, I worked for 10 years at UAB, the Department of Comparative Medicine, and did stuff there. And we would get diplomats and everything from all over the world coming to UAB because they did not want to have to go through the socialized medicine. So socialized medicine is fantastic for the common people, but those that are in power, politics, diplomats, heads of state, people of notoriety, they come over to the United States and they pay to have everything done. And they pay with their people's money. They don't use their own money. So I always found it funny, in an ironic way, that you might see a prince from the United Arab Emirates at UAB in a very private room with bodyguards who is having, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work done. But they're very quiet about that. So it's just interesting. My thoughts on the government shutdown, I honestly don't care. Hasn't affected me. I realize that it's coming up, and you know, it is approaching the end of the month, and you know, it is time for federal employees, including military, to be paid. They're always reimbursed after every one of these shutdowns. And I'm curious to see how long these things go. Some of the federal parks, I think, will be affected. You guys tell me, have you noticed any changes? Anything? I'm here in, well, right now I'm in Tennessee, but when I'm at home, I'm in deep South Alabama. And I have not noticed any changes in any way, form, or fashion, other than just watching and monitoring. I try not to comment on these government issues for a few days, just to, I like to sit and look at them and see what's going to happen. Some YouTubers get on and start talking about it as soon as it happens, and that's cool. You know, some of them, one or two of them, I actually watch. And but as far as for me and my family, I pay for everything, you know, and we just cruising right along, getting ready for Halloween, going to do Thanksgiving, and then going to do Christmas. The way it is. I hope that this has not affected you guys, but I'm curious if you have noticed any changes or anything from this government shutdown. Leave it in the comments below. I would appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thanks. Take care of you people.